Hello, this is Living in the Woods in Florida, episode 5. Um, okay, so it's nighttime. I just got home from work. I wanted to make a video that was a little bit more in-depth, showing you, what I'm actually doing to get by out here. So yeah, it's about, if I was to walk from work to here, it takes me 40 minutes, about 20 miles to the woods. 20 minutes through the woods and then 20 minutes through work. The total walk is probably about 4 or 5 miles. So I've been out here this is probably like day 7 or day 8. I didn't really keep track because I just had some family drama that happened, and I just happen to have enough money to buy a $30 tent from Walmart. It's an Ozark tent, or an Ozark Trail tent. It was only $30. It was really easy to set up. We've had a couple of thunderstorms that were pretty windy, and yeah, if you set it up right, it holds up. You just gotta, if it's super windy on the inside, you can pull down on the top of it and hold it down to the ground so it doesn't blow you away if it gets that windy. Here in Florida, it's not usually too windy, but if it says there's a tropical storm is damn near as windy as a hurricane. So I watch out for that. I also watch out for rainfall, because I could totally get stranded out here if it rains too much. This could turn into a place that can be really difficult to get out of if it rains, because I walk through a dried up pond. It's in that direction. And over here is not a dried up pond. This one has water, but it's really mucky. And yeah, after that dried up pond, there's kind of a lake-sized pond. But yeah, so there's my tent here, and then I have my porch in front of my tent. Yeah, I found this pallet when I was living up in the desert area that I showed in, I think it was episode 2. Yeah, I was in the desert area, and then I found a pallet down the hill from there. And yeah, this is one of those Alaskan heavy-ass pallets. So it's intact. There were some other pallets, but they were all ripped up. This one was intact. It was heavy, but I dragged it over there, and then I dragged it to the spot that I had at the bigger lake that was more looking like a beach, and it was nice over there. Nice breeze, but there's still a possibility of a hiker walking out through that trail. So I did a little bit more exploring and bushwhacking. I wound up going just fully through the woods on the other side of that lake. And then I found what looked like maybe a really old trail from, the 30s or the 40s, back when this was getting settled as a golf course. And yeah, I just kept bushwhacking and shit because I'm just kind of getting over my fear of spiders to that extent where I can bushwhack, because I'm realizing the spiders just come out certain times of day, and I know what to do when I run into them, how to break their web and everything. They don't make me mad. Flies and mosquitoes make me mad, but roaches, it's make me mad, but spiders do not make me mad. I respect spiders and I love them, but I just am terrified of spiders. I will scream. Maybe there'll be a video one day where I get a spider on me and I scream like that. But yeah, so that's my porch. It's a pallet. I dragged it out here. It was a lot of work. This cooler is not my cooler. That was another piece of trash I found out here. I found that before I found the pallet. And yeah, it worked out perfect, because whenever I need to relocate my site, I stick, all my duffel bag and my tent, my sleeping bag inside that, my bottles of water I put that inside the cooler, and then it's got a handle on it, so I drag the handle, and then I hang my clothes over it. You know, that shirt I use as a rag. This shirt right here is from my job. My boss is an Indian guy named Ketan Patel. He plays cricket, and this is actually a shirt from his cricket team. Yeah, I don't know much about it. I've known him for years and years and years, but worked at his liquor store / convenience store. Gujarati Society. Yeah, he's got a cricket team. I guess he plays Sanford cricket, and then it's got some ads for some Indian companies down here in Central Florida. I don't know nothing about that. But yeah, he just, you know, he must have gotten a new jersey, so he gave me his old jersey because he knows I'm hard on money, so he helps me out with that. Yeah, I hang it on the cooler handle. My friend Bill, my foster parent dad, he gave me these gloves because he knew I might want to do a bit of landscaping. Yeah, usually I put my trash and if I need to put some water or a drink inside there to get some shade, I put it in there, put my suntan lotion. So yeah, then I wanted a chair really bad, so I turned it on. I was really happy when I saw it, that's what I wanted it for, was to tilt it on its side. You know, I washed it off and I use it as a chair. I still want to get a real chair out here for sure, because it's just a matter of time and energy. The resources I can always get a hold of because I have a job and I have good friends. I've got a friend throwing out some beach chairs. It sucks though right now because when it rains, I gotta make sure I bring my, my cigarettes and my, my THCP. Yeah, I'm a pot smoker. I haven't had much money, so I can't get any real weed. So usually at my job I just get these, these fake weeds, but I'm really picky about them, and I go through them, and yeah, this one, it relaxes me. It doesn't get me super stoned. Where I like to get really stoned and work on music on my laptop. But yeah, I just have to smoke those to chill out because I'm a cigarette smoker, and I quit cigarettes because I just mixed the cigarette tobacco in a joint. Make a spliff with that, and it keeps me relaxed and happy. And it doesn't bother my lungs at all. And yeah, I work at a liquor store. I'm a big drinker. I'm not really an alcoholic. Sometimes I drink more than I should once in a while, but yeah, I do like to drink. I've got a wine bottle I got the other day here. I got that at Aldi's. Like 12% alcohol volume. Yeah, I like wine sometimes. It's good too, but right now there's no wine in there. I just pour water in it. And I thought about getting maybe a bigger wine bottle and just mixing it with water. Drinking water and wine at the same time. I just think it's a good way to stay hydrated, because that wine doesn't take your hydration away as much as hard liquor and everything else. So yeah, every time I come out here, I've got to bring a jug of water or something. Try to collect water bottles, stock up on that. I got about 3 water bottles in the tent I carried out from work. I got another jug of water right there. And yeah, 3 water bottles. I ate a breakfast sandwich for dinner tonight. And I just chilled out watching some Ancient Aliens. Yeah, I like to watch Ancient Aliens. Yeah, and I really love the Mud Fossil University videos. I definitely recommend you checking that out. It's just like Ancient Aliens. It kind of fills in the gaps of Ancient Aliens in a lot of ways. Also fills in the gaps of religion in ways that we just I just love those videos lately. I'll get into other things. I go through different phases every time of year. I start watching movies. So yeah, there's not much to show. I got the flash on my camera, but yeah, what else can you really see here? I don't know what to show you. But like I said in the earlier video, if you caught it, I don't plan on cutting down any healthy pine trees. I think I want to make this look kind of like a state park. I really like this park in Central Florida called Gemini Springs, and I noticed they have a farm on their park. Like the person who had a farm there was like, you know, fuck this is too nice. I'm gonna make this a state park. And I think that, you know, they could have done that here, and they just nobody really needed to. And really not that many people come back here. It's crazy how beautiful this place is for how few people really come back here. I mean, it's off-road heaven. When you go out to the, you know, the sandy trails over there, it's off-road heaven. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I ain't stupid. I'm pretty stupid, like I'm not very knowledgeable. I'm a musician. I used to be a downhill skateboarder. I still would love to do that, but I live in Florida and there's no downhill skateboarding hills here. So I focus more on music now. And yeah, I'm showing you this log right here because this was the only safety concern that I really had at my site that I have. But I tried to push it down because I've torn a lot of big shit down since I've been out here with my bare hands. But yeah, that one, the way it broke off, the reason it broke off during the storm, whatever it is, the inner part of it still has a shaft that is very dry and will not crack off very easily. So the only thing I gotta do for that is to keep an eye on how rainy it gets, and if it's really wet for like 3 days straight, then I should try to push it down. Oh yeah, and here is a millipede. Yeah, I'm not smart with animals. Might be a certain type of millipede. These are very common around here. It's a very friendly insect. Oops, sorry about that. I was looking at it, you know, off the camera. I just don't want to touch it by accident with my phone. So yeah, I really love the bugs out here. There's so many bugs. And my favorite bug out here is totally the dragonflies. The dragonflies out here are like different colors. There's red ones, and if you get a close look at the dragonflies, they've got these patterns on their wings and on their body, and they're really, really cool. When I lived up in the desert area, I saw more dragonflies. There's quite a few down here too, but up in the desert area, there was a lot of ants, and I loved the ants. The ants took care of business, and they didn't bother me too much. But there was a lot of spiders that would tunnel under the sand and crawl up to me, so even though I liked it up there and it made me happier to be in the desert, I wanted privacy, and I wanted to be able to make a cottage. So yeah, it's nighttime, so I'm trying to show a close-up view of anything that could be interesting. So yeah, this plant right here, it's really easy to pluck, and they're everywhere, and I've just been clearing the land, plucking these. I just call them seaweed. It's not seaweed. They smell really good. If it's got a purpose at all, it's to rub it on your clothes to make it smell really nice, like deodorant. You could probably use that as deodorant. It smells so good. It smells like pine needles, you know. Just like a better version of that smell. Yeah, these plants, these are kind of a desert brush plant. I'm not tearing any of these ones down. Yeah, that's the wall of the woods that my cottage is going to be next to. I'm not going to cut any of that woods down. I'm not going to cut any of these pine trees down. But all these stupid bushes right here, That's what I worked on all day. I pulled those out because their roots were really wet and mucky. And I just got a little, you know, these dead logs right here, dead trees. They're really easy to just tear out. I haven't needed any tools yet. I think I can actually build a whole cottage without even using any tools. I'm kind of, like, I'm not a smart guy. I really don't know a lot. And people find me to be like a partially disabled person most of the time. But the truth is, I guess I put more of my intelligence into some of the MacGyver shit that I think of. I think that's what I call it, MacGyver. I have MacGyver intelligence, maybe. And yeah, I'll just kind of, you know, I think I can make a whole shelter without any tools, you know. I mean, all I need is some paracord. I've got some paracord. Not very much. There's not much to show here, really. I'd have to walk really far to get near a spider web. I know there's a big yellow and black spider on the other side of this pond. We'll walk down to the pond here. You know, this is all just bullshit YouTube videos. Okay, yeah, there's some ferns. And these are the seaweeds. Really easy to pluck those. They're everywhere. Once you get rid of all those, once you pluck some of these, what are these? These grass balls. Grass ball. I know it's a stupid thing to call them, but you know, there's these wads of grass where I just twist it and I pull it out. I don't pull these ferns though. I like ferns. Ferns, pine trees are the only thing that I'm trying to eliminate. These actually are palm leaves. Yeah. If you look how many palm leaves are right here, yeah, sweet dreams. No way. Palm trees do not grow as easily as they seem to think when they start off. They're not going to get the space to grow. I don't know. You never know. The way the climate is, the conditions could be set up for them. Yeah, these were a couple logs that were not tall enough to be struts for the cottage. So I'm using these logs as probably the floor for the floorboard. I'm going to lay them around the perimeter of the cottage, and it's going to be the floorboard. I'll get some planks or some, you know, just some big boards. I know plenty, you know, I remember there's the hurricane shelter, the bathtub with 5 or 6 big heavy boards over it. It'd be a fucking pain in the ass, but I can drag those boards out here if I need to, and then I can use them as the floorboard and have a nice, I just want a nice square wooden cottage that I can actually get a power supply in. And the goal is, being a musician, the whole goal for me is to not just make a decorative yard and landscape it, but I'm gonna be, you know, working on music out here with a nice view of this pond. Can't see it at night, but yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm squatting down, and I wanted to show you that this pond, the way this one goes up and down and dries out, all the dead grass here, it's kind of like this weird, you know, soft platform that you can walk on. You'd never put your tent on this. I mean, it just rained a little bit, but it's gonna have to rain a lot for the rain to get up to my place, and it'd take a hurricane probably to get up to that limit. So I know Florida's flooding, but the last flood we had was just from a certain hurricane. So the whole idea just is to watch out for that hurricane. I'm not going to walk too far here, but, you know, just want to show you what this is around my pond. This is what makes my property ugly, because the lake over there, it has a lot of sand, nicer breeze. The animals are interesting, the birds, it's more interesting. I like that lake. This pond is kind of boring and weird, but I had to move here because it's fully private. and I was able to build a cottage here. I could not build a cottage on that pond because eventually someone will go dirt biking around it or go camping there. And it's a real turn off to see a structure when you're out camping in a place that you thought was just full wilderness. But I've been coming back here for years and I never came back to this spot. This is the first time I've been to this spot after probably about 10 years on and off coming back here. I never camped back here. I always wanted to, but since I'm homeless I got to, and I knew it was easy, and the way my house was, it sucked anyways at my house. Yeah, right now I'm just showing you another turnoff that is happening at my campsite. It's these giant logs that I need to get something metal to maybe chop up and turn into mulch. It's going to be a lot of work, and tomorrow I'll make another video. I don't know what I'm going to put in the video because I do not have any intentions of landscaping or digging holes for those rafters. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to walk 40 minutes to and from work. If I only do it once a day, it's not too bad, because you know, I've got 2 sons that live with my foster parents right now, and they take care of them because we were having too many problems in my house since I don't have a driver's license and I only get paid a little bit at my job. It became a problem and I couldn't pay rent, and something happened while I was gone at work. My girlfriend's slightly disabled, so something went wrong there. I'm not going to get into it. Nobody did anything wrong. It was just kind of a series of bad events. But yeah, what I do is I just hang out here and I watch YouTube right now. And I'm not going to show you the inside of my tent. This towel right here was a nice rug that I had in there, and it was real homey in there. But yeah, I just have a sleeping pad and a duffel bag in there. I can wrap it all up and lug it out of here. I'm definitely not bringing my laptop here yet, because if we get too bad of a storm, it can get kind of wet in the tent because it just has that canopy over it. So that's why I'm working on the cottage, is because it's something I don't want to do. I don't want to carry out one of those big tent canopies. I don't want anyone to see me do that. They probably won't, but it just seems easier to build a cottage because I'm going to build that anyways. And I'm just going to make it a pavilion first and then add the walls after. Or slowly as I go, just really slowly, take my time, because I just got to conserve my energy since work takes a bit to get to. I don't work all that much. I work every day, but only a small amount of hours. But yeah, tonight I also wanted to keep you in touch with, you know, how I drink. There's one video I drink a little bit. I'm a big beer advocate. I like to drink. I like talking about it, everything. You know, I don't bring breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I do like to have beer for breakfast. But mostly when I get home from work is when I need to drink. But yeah, tonight I drank a Corona Familiar. Yeah, I mean, that tells you right there, those are the beers I like. I like Modelo, Corona Familiar, I like Cerveza, and I like Foster's also, and I like Heineken. When it comes to American beers, my favorite American beer is Miller. And usually I get a couple shots of tequila with it. You know, Margaritaville tequila. I just get 2 shots of tequila because tonight I got off work early. It was 8 o'clock. It was still light out. And when I came home from work, there was still light, so there wasn't any spiders. But the spiders, they come out now. Now that trail has got all these spider webs on it. Sucks to walk out of here at night for me because I'm afraid of spiders. But yeah, I take 2 shots. I have those 2 shots of tequila while I'm getting through, so it's not so scary. Because yeah, that's bullshit. Those fucking spiders. Like, I don't hate spiders, but yeah, I had to throw a branch at the whole spider web. That's the trick. If it's blocking the trail and you've got a wand and you're trying to eliminate the spider, it's like, no. And I don't even want to because I like the tropical spiders that are down here. I don't like to be a dick to them. The other animals, cockroaches, ticks, mosquitoes, deer flies, you know, certain animals piss me off, but yeah, the spider, I have to throw a branch at his web if I come out here at night. And I also gotta, if I'm lugging a bunch of stuff in my left hand, I've got to hold the light, the flashlight in my right hand. It sucks. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, I walk out here through the woods. I think most people would be pretty creeped out to do that every night. Walking, you know, 30 minutes through the fucking woods. But once I show up to my campsite every night, and I'm here, you know, it's so open, and soon I'm going to have some mosquito lights, because the mosquitoes are bad here. I sprayed a lot of off, and a lot of them still find a little spot in my skin where there's no off, and then they suck a little bit of blood. It sucks. So, and I want lights, because I like to just hang out and watch TV at night, stay up late. But I'll figure out, you know, what to do in order, because this cottage, I got quite a bit of work done in one day with it. If I conserve my energy and just chill out for a couple days, I might be able to just finish that cottage. And then I can do a lot more after that's done. Get the mosquito lights as well. And then I'm going to get a power supply and start making music on my laptop. And then I'm going to, you know, landscape this. Eventually I'll make it grassy. I'll actually plant grass here. But that's episode 4. It's just kind of a more in-depth explanation of what it's like for me to be homeless right now. I mean, I have a job, but some homeless people make more money than I do panhandling anyways. But do you know where to go? Do you know to buy a tent, or do you have a drug addiction? I don't know any of that with each person. So it scares people, you know, and it's been scaring a lot of my friends and relatives that I'm doing this, and I'm making them uncomfortable, but it's 10 times better than the way I was living before, because I have no car, and I paid $900 a month rent on my house. Or at an RV resort, I paid $900 a month rent, and I had no car, and sometimes I lost my job, and sometimes I had to walk, you know, 20 miles just to make $40. And as time goes on, that shit is not going to work. So I got an e-bike. But, you know, things still did not work out with the e-bike, I guess. So we'll see what happens here. This is what I'm hoping that anybody watching these videos dreams and knows what I'm thinking here. I want this to look like a state park. I want to have a cottage that has a big floor-to-ceiling window in it, because I do have all these materials for free right now. And after I make the cottage, and I have a nice floorboard, I have a power supply, I have mosquito lights, I've got a beer cooler full of beer, I've got, you know, just a light inside the house, I've got a porta potty that turns, you know, my poop into something that can be used as fertilizer, and then eventually, you know, I'll have a garden or something out here, and it'll get crazy. I'm not going to bring any farm animals. But I do dream of this place actually looking like a resort. You know, a tequila bar, something cool, something that is, you know, when you go on vacation to Florida and you go to some cool resort, I want it to be like that. Because in the future, they are going to be connecting some of this area with more roads. And if I make something nice enough and then they find out, the landowner or whoever owns it finds out what I made here, you know, I'm hoping that it'll be nice enough where he just wouldn't have the heart to take it down, because you'll see that I'm keeping the land clean, clearing up debris, allowing the more vital plants and animals to thrive here. Because it's just, you know, humans belong hiking around in this spot. It's not, you know, this isn't really way out in the wilderness. I'm still near an urban area that is definitely meant to be like a state park. But these trails were active back in the 50s or something, back, you know, like 100 years ago at some point. They were logging and there was some trails out here, and this was kind of like a park because these ponds were much lower, and now it's just all overgrown, and I get to do this. So sorry that this video is boring, not much scenery in it. It was more of an explanatory video, and tomorrow I'll figure out something to update you with. But again, my name is Täxt. I'm a musician. I make EDM music, and my real name is also Russell. And this is Living in the Woods in Florida, episode 4. Have a good night.